So in this next detail section of the Bulleid Leader makeover from KR Models, you can see in front of us we have the two bogie towers. Now as you can see, the wheels have been painted and therefore already modified, so these have been ongoing for some time, and these products will be available to you very soon on eBay or MadeMe. So what we have in front of us here are some 3D printed inserts in ABS black, and they are already still on their supports, which you can see here, and these fit into the openings within the wheel themselves, as for some bizarre reason KR or China have left openings which goes all the way through. Some don't mind, but in my view it does spoil the look of the wheel. So I've 3D printed these inserts, which can be fitted from the front face, as you can see them now. I just use cocktail sticks and a bit of pressure to push them in with a solid backing behind them. There's 8 per wheel, so this is enough for one axle. So there's 6 3D printed sections, all with 16 inserts, so enough for both bogies. You'll probably have to paint the wheel because they look a bit odd otherwise. So I push them in from the front face and I glue them in position with some penetrating glue, like Rocket Hot for example, just on the end of a cocktail stick, and then I prime them and then paint them. So in this next section I'll just show you that very quickly. The insert does try and copy the wheel pattern with the holes in the bottom of the teardrop and with slightly sloped sides. So follow the next section. It's a bit of a challenge to get the bogies, the bogie towers out of the actual bogie frames, so be careful, but we'll head into that right now and I'll show you how to fit these into the wheels. So moving on to the wheels of this Bulleid Leader and also the bogie itself. Now I've got no locomotives or models or diesels with bogies on, so I've never really come across anything quite like this in modelling, so especially bogie wise. So the bogie tower was quite easy to get to. So the body shell has 4 clips, 2 either side, a little bit down the side from the front or the fronts. Pull them away, lift the body shell off, easy peasy. Then you take the PCB board off, which is held in by about 3 screws or Phillips, and there isn't much room to work around, so it's probably best to unsolder the wires from the bogies. And you basically have to take this clip off the gearbox tower, which is very difficult to do because there's not much space. And it's basically pivoting not just on a pin on the underside of the body shell, but also these tangs on the clip itself, and it's not very robust. It feels quite hard plastic, but I have seen 1 or 2 of these broken, which isn't great, but the clip is a right pain to get off, so it's quite easy to damage, so be very careful if you ever try and take the bogie off. So once you've done that and actually survived and this is in one piece, you can then take the bogie off. Now I thought it would be a great idea to take the keeper plate off, which you can see in the bottom of here. Now as you can see, the whole keeper plate and the bogie surround is all in one piece, so you're taking the whole thing off, leaving the bogie tower here. But the main reason I've taken all that off is to get to these oddly looking wheels, which aren't quite correct, and you can see all the way through the teardrop there in the actual casting. The casting itself is okay, but these really should be infilled with a backing. So I've been busy on the computer and I've designed, these aren't very clean, but these are inserts for those teardrops, and these are all 3D printed of course. There's 8 per wheel, so there's about 48 openings to do if you're feeling adventurous. and I'm fitting them in from the front with a little bit of glue around the outside just to hold them in place. And what I might do is then paint the wheel faces as well. Now I've done one already, which you can see just here, and it does look quite a lot better. I don't think the holes are quite the right size, but in the teardrops, but they do look quite a lot better. And as I say, with all this painted, it will certainly look a great deal better. So that's basically stage one of what I'm going to do with these bogies. So here we have the wheel, and this one's been removed from the bogie tower, along with this resin insert. So this insert has been removed using the flush cutters, and as you can see, I'm just easing it into the teardrop opening into the wheel using a flat surface or a ruler behind the wheel, just so when you press it in with a sort of blunt instrument, this is in my case a cocktail stick, just easing it in to the opening. It should be tight enough just to hold itself in place if possible. They may move around and not sit quite well, so just double check that they are in tightly and nice and flush, and you can check that from the back of the wheel as well. Do take care and also keep in mind that these wheels do come loose, so just glue them back into place if possible. In terms of gluing these resin inserts, I use a penetrating glue called Rocket Hot. This is from Deluxe Materials, and here we see me just adding some of that glue around the resin insert. Try not to get too much on the back of the wheel, just so it soaks into all the openings. And here is a completed set ready for the paint shop. Now the painting takes place in 3 stages: some cleaning, roughening up the surface, and then it will go into primer. I'm using some Halford's Grey primer as a base, and then on to Halford's Satin Black paint, which is a spray paint. That's left to dry for 24 hours, and this is how it should look. So here we see a before on the right and an after on the left, with all the 3D printed inserts into the teardrop shaped holes, which should be filled, but unfortunately KR seemingly have missed this out completely. And also I have painted the wheel faces as well, compared to the ones on the right, which are just bare metal. As you can see, quite a big difference. Looks a little bit better than it did. And now we'll move on to the buffer beam detail.